Good morning, everybody, and welcome to this morning's severe weather update. So I have good news regarding today's severe weather threat. The Storm Prediction Center has actually downgraded the risk today to a level 2 out of 5 slight risk across southeastern Texas and southwestern Louisiana in the yellow, with a marginal risk maintained across the eastern third of Texas, southern Oklahoma, southwestern corner of Arkansas, into central Louisiana in the dark green. And looking at the tornado threat, this was at 10% earlier this morning, but has been downgraded to a 5% chance of tornadoes touching down within 25 miles of a location across southeastern Texas and southwestern Louisiana, uh, including the Houston metro area into Beaumont, into Lafayette and or just west of Baton Rouge, with a 2% tornado risk in the green, extending into southeastern Louisiana, into south central Texas, bordering on Lufkin and Alexandria, Texas, and Louisiana. This was at 10% in the Houston area this morning. Thankfully, it's been downgraded to a 5%, so we're no longer looking at a potential tornado outbreak, but we could still see a couple of spin-up tornadoes, especially late morning, early to mid-afternoon, across the Houston area into southwestern Louisiana. So make sure you're on guard for a couple of weak tornadoes if you live in these areas today. Damaging wind threat is pretty much a non-issue with only a 5% chance of damaging straight line winds of 58 miles per hour stronger within 25 miles of a location, extending from southwestern Oklahoma through eastern Texas into southern Louisiana. And with the hail threat's also going to remain isolated with only a 5% chance of quarter-sized hail in 25 miles of a location across eastern Texas, southern Oklahoma, far southwest Arkansas, and the western half of Louisiana in the brown today. So let's take a look at our HRRR model to see why our threat has downtrended. So we are looking at a lot of non-severe morning convection across southeastern Texas, and this is really going to limit daytime heating. So once we start getting into the noon hour, still going to be seeing a lot of convection across the Houston area, southeast Texas, non-severe convection, and actually as we go into about 3 to 4 o'clock when the severe threat materializes, notice how the supercells are staying offshore over the Gulf of Mexico now, with no real supercells in the Houston area. As we go into going into 4, 5, 6, 7 o'clock this evening, supercells remain offshore, and if this run of the HRRR model verifies, we're getting little to no severe weather at all across anywhere really across southeast Texas, going into 7 o'clock, 8, 9, 10 o'clock, even Louisiana, supercells remaining offshore with just some heavy rain. And then as we go into about midnight to 1 a.m., could see maybe a supercell or two try to move onshore. However, by the time we're going into tomorrow morning, we're going to be losing a lot of the wind shear, so likely not really seeing many tornadic storms into tomorrow morning across southern Louisiana. Very good news for my friends across these areas. And just to illustrate the point, looking at the significant tornado parameter going into noon, 1 o'clock, got maybe 3 to 4 across areas of southeastern Texas. However, we were looking at 5s, 6s, 7s, and 8s yesterday, and as we go into about 5 to 7 o'clock, looking like significant tornado parameters have dropped off significantly from yesterday's update. Now only about 3 to 4, and this is west of Houston. And as we go into the evening around 8 to 11 o'clock, notice how we don't really get any significant tornado parameter values in the Houston area anymore, and these significant tornado parameters are staying offshore through the evening and overnight. And even in the southwestern Louisiana, we see our significant tornado parameters very low going into Friday morning. However, the one threat that will remain and may have actually increased is the flash flooding threat, where we're expecting widespread rainfall accumulations over the next 48 hours of 3 to 5 inches across from Houston through Beaumont, through southern central Louisiana, southern Mississippi, southwestern Alabama, and we are going to be seeing pockets potentially of 6 to 8 inches scattered along these areas, so don't write off the flash flooding threat, especially if you live across areas like Baton Rouge, Lafayette, into Mobile, Alabama, maybe around Hattiesburg, Mississippi. And looking at the excessive flooding rainfall outlook, this has been upgraded to a slight risk across southeast Texas from Galveston through Beaumont, Lake Charles, Lafayette, Baton Rouge, Morgan City, and with a marginal risk covering much of eastern Texas, all of the rest of Louisiana, southwest Mississippi, all of Arkansas, southeastern Oklahoma, into southern Missouri for today. So make sure you're watching out for flash flooding, especially if you live in these areas today and especially tomorrow. So thanks for watching this morning's severe weather update. Make sure you're on guard for a couple of tornadoes across southeast Texas and southwest Louisiana this afternoon, late this morning through this afternoon. However, no longer expecting a tornado outbreak of any kind. Please stay safe and have a wonderful day, my friends.